What you are discovering, though, is that Hork is coming back from his visit to this door right here, the one that goes to the street, and seems to have had an unsuccessful moment of some kind. So I'm trying to think if there's anything that we need you to do particularly. There are no rolls involved here. You do a lot of rolling for spying for non-player characters, but it specifically says that spying with player characters is all role-playing. So that is our question. That's your mission anyway. Do you want to tell me anything about what you specifically do or talk about, or anything you want to express?
This is like for a personal thing, unrelated to chaos. Just like find out what is the goal of other people. Because I don't feel like being bossed around all the time. I want to have my own my own freedom. Like, I don't want to be bossed all around. I want to do my own thing. And if that includes helping other people, sure, I'll do it.
Well, let's take a walk, says Over. I'm getting a little tired of this little room, and the other place is still it's not really set up for use yet. And let's take a walk around. I don't really know the city very well anyway. So you might take a walk around, this is where the bandit member, oh, sorry, did I say bandits? The smugglers, did I say smugglers? Those people that you ran into here who gave you a hard time. And you'll walk around here past this big.
Can I tell if they're suspicious?
If he's suspicious?
The workers.
Oh, the workers in here.
Yeah.
No, those guys are working really hard.
Okay.
And the people I was mentioning was a memory. The ruffians, that was just a memory.
Yeah.
They aren't there now. But if you proceed here and around, this building obviously is pretty big, and it is the Temple of Universal Munificence. Seems to live up to its name. Has gold on it and things like that. So anyway, you are walking around these really, really nice. These are raked rocks, really beautiful gravel yards and expanses. Anyway, you are walking along here, and Over will talk to you about, well, different people have different needs about that. Some people feel very strongly about the personal freedoms, and other people seem to seek order in whatever form they can. And as for what we think about here is more in terms of the effect on people, whether it will benefit others, especially those weaker than ourselves, or especially those who have had bad luck in things. We are dedicated to improving their circumstances and in enjoying the mutualism that comes from that, with the ordinary response that people have. The world is much better and happier for this.
As long as people have a choice in what they want to do.
He says that's a very interesting philosophical point. I may have to ask you more about what you mean by that. Maybe we can come up with a text. Our creed doesn't really have very many texts. I'm working on one now.
Yeah, not to sound rude, but I noticed that when I was here, your church didn't really look established. It looked rather new. So I can understand that you don't have a lot of things.
He sighs and says, sadly, in another city far away, people didn't seem ready to hear the message, and it became necessary to find another place.
Yeah.
So you're getting along pretty well with Over, and he's very forthcoming about what he thinks about things, and doesn't seem very pressuring to you at all. Now this is during the day, and you will be walking past some people who are not kind of, well, they're not like ruffians and mean gang types like you ran into before. These are workers, but they're tradesmen. They are prosperous merchants and prosperous people who perform services and things like that. And so they give you guys a look, and Over waves at them nicely, and one of them stops and really gives you guys a good look. Let's do a little reaction roll here. Roll some percentile dice. Do you have a charisma modifier at all? No, you have an 11, but
I have +2 on reaction from this therapy, so
that's a different reaction.
that's just confusing.
I know.
I'm gonna say it a lot, but you know that things are confusing.
I know, but right now I want you to roll percentage dice, and they are unmodified.
47.
Okay, that is in the neutral range. The fellow is not favorably inclined. He goes back and is shaking his head and says, these new little temples are cropping up all over the place. You know, what happened to the good old days? And he's complaining, especially because he says, I was just at Giranarva, and it's closed up. You can hear them complaining. It's closed up. I've been going there for 10 years. What's become of this place? Oh, the Street of the Gods isn't what it used to be. You know, they're bitching. So that is their circumstance. And I have checked off one of my encounters. Now, that brings you up to date. Now we are going to cut pretty quick because we have people in completely different circumstances. And I looked at the recording last time, and it was terrible. People had to wait for so long for so little. We are going to move quick on this. I want to know, I need to give you all circumstances. Yours. This fellow who fought baboons with you briefly and helped you bring the body of Lohan back to Over, right, which was nice of him, but you never did get a really good idea of what on earth he was doing there. And it may have occurred to you to wonder whatever happened to the body of the Necrophidius that the sprites killed. But when you got back anyway, it was gone. And as for you are now interacting with one another and can interact with each other how you want. Over has returned from a walk with this guy. You are looking at the door with the half-eaten candles and are kind of wondering what to do. And it would be about that point that the door will fly open, and a hairy arm is going to try to pull you in. Now, are you going to evade it? Are you going to go with it? What we need to do is roll for surprise. 1 or 2. If you roll a d6, and if it is a 1 or a 2, you are surprised. You are not surprised. You're all the time. Well, I think, there had been this back and forth, and like, oh, look, the candles are half eaten. You're like looking at the door. Wait a minute. And sure enough, I saw that. And so what will you do?
Oh, I'll try to evade.
Okay. So we have actually a minute to manage here. So your question is whether you are going to try to get out of there, whether you're going, remember you wanted to go in after all.
Yeah, right? I'd like to do it, but on my own.
Right? So, and then of course the question is, would you have a violent confrontation here? It seems kind of violent, certainly. So that is our situation. There seems to be a scuffle, or as you guys are returning back around here. Yeah, Over would have wanted to walk around here, but that's on the grounds of the Universal Munificence, and so he turns back and you walk back here, and that's just as you are here, you can see down here That is where Hork is dealing with this door. So you are basically about right there, pretty much right at the gates of the Center for Universal Beneficence, looking down there. So, a little ways away. Over has established, he knows that you're a fighting guy, and he does point out that, you know, it's a tough part of town, and that certainly Hork and Robert have had to defend the faith more than once. So, you know, your skills would be necessary, but don't forget to always give someone a chance. Which, of course, you find very. Yeah. What you think of that privately is your own business.
It's not like we to tell you the man said he can go and try to clear nothing. That happened before. Definitely didn't happen.
You do know, I forgot to mention, you do know that when the time comes, if Over proves to be, well, you don't know why or when, but based on your reports, the order may come. Take that guy out. Now you are, how that relates actually to the assassins as a profession, I'll have to deal with it later. But money would be involved. You would be paid. Now, hold on.
You will want some money.
Now, and of course you guys didn't hear a word of that. So then, I do want to deal now. Are you going to try to evade? Are you going to try? What is your plan here?
My plan is to get outside the range of the hand and call my henchman.
Aha. Okay. Good plan. So now we will roll for initiative. I have a 5. So its grab is coming in at you first. And as a monster, whoop. Baboons are not players. I do not need the player's handbook or player characters. Although it could be. We should play a baboon game.
Yeah.
And you don't have a adjustment for melee or anything, I think, but you, well prepared, have in your minute of activity, have no problem. Now you weren't going to attack, correct? Right, and the baboon doesn't really seem to be leaving the door.
So I just
Right.
stand away from the door and call my henchman.
They will. We have a whole minute to play with, so they will come around, and they are pulling, one of them has like a tool which could be used as a nice club, and like a shovel or something like that, and then the other actually has a knife of his own. So, are you there's a minute here. Do you want to go and join Hork?
I would assume I recognize him.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, and I know he's a part of this church, and I'm supposed to investigate and getting to trust is a good thing, so I go with him.
Excellent. And Oliver is kind of shaking his head and saying, Hork is always running off and doing something. He was wondering what on earth you were doing out in the yard that time when you came out of his trance. So anyway, you will do that. That is fine. To Marvin Crown, whom I need to orient a little bit more. There's a lot going on for you here. There's these 2 neighborhoods, actually, as you will see. One of them dominated by the temple, the right temple, and another one by that other sort of.
Yep.
And so we effectively have 2 neighborhoods united by a little bay or harbor there. United, they have a bridge there. They have a water source which they share and is some sort of center of trade. This is one of the many waterways through the city, so it's not like a shoreline on a lake, huge lake or beach or something. But that is the situation, and effectively what it means is that neither of the big churches wants to leave this area to the other one. And so I would like to know, where you are going, you do have some responsibilities and some concerns. And
Yeah.
So,
But first of all, since I'm a bit hurt, I'll cast the Cure Light Wounds on myself.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
no problem.
starting with that.
Roll D8. Oh no. Okay, that's how it goes sometimes. Yeah.
Usually for me.
And
And
so,
then I'll head back to the temple, our temple. I need to have a word with Osmore.
okay. Now, the curate, who is technically your boss for both of you, is named Farlamin. And Farlamin is a somewhat puzzled fellow who seems to have been promoted past his level of competence. He's not an idiot. Maybe he's a little too old, or maybe he's a little too, has kind of lost his fire. And Osmorn is straightening up everything. He's actually pulled out the books, the records.
Yeah.
He's got them laid out, and says, nobody has audited this for years. This is terrible. And he looks at you and says, "Oh, hello."
Yeah. I'm not sure if I should just. No. I'll confront him and say, Osmore, I found the root power of the chaos in the neighborhood.
Well, let's check the protocols.
Yes, let's do that together.
So he informs Farlamin of this. Farlamin says, but we don't want to cause any trouble.
Don't we?
And you look at each other and
It will be handled orderly.
yeah,